Secret to the Lost City of Petra, the Rose-Red Revelation. In the vast, unforgiving high desert of the Middle East, nature keeps its most profound secrets hidden in stone. For millennia, this region was a crucible of civilization. But while cities like Rome and Athens were written into history, one magnificent capital simply vanished. It was known only in Bedouin folklore, a whisper among the sands. The Western world had forgotten it, until 1812. A young, ambitious Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt arrived in the Ottoman Empire. His mission was simple: find a lost city rumored to be deep in the mountains of Edom. To do so, he had to become one with the desert. Disguised as an impoverished Arab traveler, he convinced a local guide to take him to the rumored location of the prophet Aaron's tomb. The only way in was a path of deception, and the gateway was unlike anything else on earth. This is the Sick, a winding, mile-long chasm, a natural fracture in the sandstone massif. At some points, the walls tower 600 feet above, narrowing to less than 10 feet across. It served as Petra's ultimate defensive mode, its natural fortress. As travelers navigated the suffocating shade, they were oblivious to the Nabateans' greatest secret, their command over water. Carved into the sheer walls were elaborate channels, diverting and controlling every precious drop. The journey down the Sick is a psychological experience. It is a slow, methodical reveal. The traveler is swallowed by the earth, lost in shadow, certain only of the high, impassive rock on either side. You realize this city was designed not just to be built, but to be found on its own terms. Then, after a mile of darkness, a tantalizing sliver of light appears. Color, architecture, and impossible geometry breaks the monotony of the canyon walls. Burckhardt's guide had kept his silence. He had kept his secret. What burst into view was not a ruin, but a masterpiece. A facade 50 feet wide, carved directly out of the living sandstone, preserved by the very rock that imprisoned it. The lost city of Petra had been found, but this was only the entrance. The true story lay deeper within, with the forgotten people who commanded this wealth and mastered this rock. We must now understand the true builders, the Nabateans, and the secret of their survival in the desert. Nabatean mastery. The sight of the treasury left Burckhardt and subsequent explorers stunned, but it also left them with an impossible question. How? How could such a lavish city, capable of generating this wealth and sustaining these artisans, thrive in this hyper-arid landscape? The answer lies with the Nabateans, a sophisticated Arab civilization who made Petra their capital. They were not farmers, nor initially great warriors, but brilliant merchants. They controlled the flow of goods: frankincense from Arabia, spices from India, and silk from China. Every caravan paid tribute, and Petra grew obscenely wealthy, becoming the crossroads of the ancient world. They transformed from nomadic tribesmen into master city builders in a generation. Their genius was rooted in their unparalleled ability to adapt to the desert. They understood that in this region, water was not just life, it was power, and controlling it meant controlling the trade itself. The Nabatean mastery began outside the city. Every winter, the canyons would be ravaged by devastating flash floods. Most cultures fought these floods. The Nabateans harnessed them. They built colossal diversion dams in the surrounding canyons, redirecting the destructive torrents away from the Sick entrance and channeling the water into settlement tanks. Once diverted, the precious flow was funneled into a network of pipes and channels carved with astonishing precision. This water was filtered and then collected in thousands of hidden, rock-cut cisterns beneath the city streets. These airtight reservoirs protected the water from evaporation and contamination. While neighboring civilizations were forced to retreat during dry seasons, Petra had guaranteed water year-round for its 20,000 citizens and their visiting caravans. It was a complete mastery of civil engineering. They turned a death trap into an oasis, making Petra one of the few places in the Arabian desert where agriculture could thrive. This abundance of life, paid for by trade, was what allowed them the luxury of creating monumental art. Their water allowed them to live. Their trade allowed them to build. Now, we must examine the scale of their creative ambition, the spectacular rock-cut wonders that give Petra its eternal name. The rock-cut wonders. The Nabateans were resourceful engineers, but they were also profound artists. Every rock face in the city was seen not as an obstacle, but as a canvas. Their monuments were designed to last forever, carved into the very DNA of the earth itself. While many assumed the Treasury, or Al-Khazna, was a royal vault, it was actually the monumental tomb of a powerful king, perhaps Aretas IV. This monument showcases the Nabatean genius for fusion, a blend of their indigenous rock-cutting traditions with the Greek and Egyptian influences absorbed along their trade routes. Notice the Corinthian columns, the mythological figures, evidence of a civilization that looked outward. Critically, these structures were built backward. Unlike standard construction, they were carved from the top down. Starting at the cliff's summit and working their way to the base ensured precision and stability, allowing them to sculpt the intricate details of the upper story without needing cumbersome scaffolding from the ground up. This method itself is a testament to their engineering prowess. Beyond the treasury, the city opens up. The street of facades contains dozens of tombs, but the path leads inevitably to public life. The massive theater, carved into the bedrock, could seat over 6,000 people. And high above, requiring an arduous climb, stands Ad-Dair, the monastery. Far larger than the treasury, its size and isolation suggest a profound religious or commemorative purpose. Another monumental tomb meant to awe and command reverence. To understand their spirit, we must look to their religion. Located on the highest point overlooking the city is the high place of sacrifice. Here, on a sculpted hilltop platform, the Nabateans worshipped their gods, like Dushra, the lord of the mountain. These elevated sites were direct connections between the sacred earth and the heavens, marking Petra as a spiritual center, not just a commercial one. But the world was changing. In 106 AD, the Nabatean kingdom was formally annexed by the Roman Empire. Petra became the capital of the Roman province of Arabia. Instead of resisting, they adapted again. The main thoroughfare was formalized into a Roman-style colonnaded street, complete with monumental arches and public spaces. They continued to thrive under Roman rule, a testament to their enduring commercial importance. Yet, by accepting Roman influence, the city had inadvertently sealed its fate to the destiny of the empire itself. Their structures were built for eternity, but even stone cannot withstand the forces of nature, nor the inevitable currents of history. Their end would be sudden and silent. The silent collapse. For centuries, Petra stood as a defiant jewel in the desert, its fortunes buoyed by its ingenious engineering and its crucial position on the global trade map. The Nabateans had mastered the art of survival. But no city, no matter how powerful, is immune to the twin forces of nature and economics. The first blow came in 363 AD. The region sits on a volatile seismic fault line, and on this day, a massive earthquake violently shook the city. Stone constructions tumbled, but far worse, the very lifeblood of Petra was severed. The sophisticated network of dams, channels, and cisterns, the system that had guaranteed their survival for generations, was catastrophically damaged. At the same time, the fundamental economic landscape of the Roman world was shifting. Merchants began to prefer the faster, cheaper sea routes across the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. This change drained Petra of its essential purpose. The need for a heavily protected, inland trade hub vanished almost overnight. Without the caravans, the tax revenue dried up. Without the water, the citizens began to leave. The mighty rock-cut capital gradually became an insignificant backwater. By the 7th century, with the rise of new powers and the exhaustion of its infrastructure, the metropolis was all but abandoned. Its residents didn't flee under siege. They simply drifted away, leaving their grand monuments behind. The wind and sand became the new inhabitants. Today, the Rose-Red City stands not as a monument to its fall, but as a spectacular, stone-cut testament to the genius of the Nabatean people, a civilization that engineered life from rock and water and carved its indelible mark into the history of the world. Its secrets are now revealed, waiting for the next generation of travelers to walk its sacred canyons. Please like, subscribe, and share.